Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm back with a brand new speed build, this time doing another kind of build request. So a couple of videos ago I asked you guys to comment in the comments section of potential builds that you'd love to see, and I kind of made and compiled a list, and I've been sort of working through them a little bit, and some of the ideas and suggestions were absolutely brilliant. So today I am building a submerged modern home. Now, I've called it submerged because the request was actually for an underwater build. But what I actually decided to do was build a portion of the house above the water and then the majority underneath. So initially I kind of started out in Selva Dorada and then I moved back over to Sulani because the idea for this build really kind of grew as I was building, and more ideas were sort of popping into my mind. So I decided to take this build, which initially looks quite tiny, over to this particular 50 by 50 lot based in Sulani, where it kind of grew in size quite a lot. So as much as we have stuff going on the surface, we've also got the majority going on underground. So I wanted to build this kind of coral reef and obviously make it as beautiful as I could with as many interesting kind of decorative items as I could find. So I did go ahead and use quite a lot of items from the debug menu, which include sort of all the new hidden objects. So I got to use lots of different rocks and archways and tunnels and just really kind of play around and be as creative as I could with the space that I had. Now, obviously, being a creative process and not really having an idea straight off the bat on what I wanted to do, I did kind of jump around a lot with this build. I did a little bit of the actual build and then I came back down under the water, and yeah, I was a little bit all over the place, so I apologise if it seems like I'm jumping around. It's just the way that I kind of created it. I kept thinking of ideas and other things that I wanted to add in underneath. So it was really about the entire outside this build, just creating this really beautiful view that you would be able to see from inside the house. So with regards to the actual build, it's a 3-bed 1-bathroom build, and it comes in at just less than 285,000 simoleons. There wasn't any restricted packs, it wasn't done to a budget. It was just really trying to be as creative as I could with all the new items and just to play around with this idea of an underwater house. So playing around doing decorative items and landscaping at the moment is just like, after the latest update, it's like opening up a whole new world of fun ideas, because there's just so many items which are really beautiful, really fun, and creating this underwater kind of coral reef was just so much fun. And I actually found these little sort of lobsters which came in different colours, and I was like placing them in grass and just placing them all around the build. If anything, I got completely carried away. I just found so many different items in the end that it really is quite a whole new world down there. So I also placed this absolutely huge decorative rock at the back on the right hand side, but later on down the line I did actually move that over to the left, and I created a waterfall with it using the new animated waterfall which is in the hidden menu of Island Living. So my good friend Kate Emerald has literally just done a tutorial on how to do waterfalls as well, so it's worth checking that out if you're wanting to find out where it is and how to use it and the best way to make it look as real as possible. So, but I'm so excited that we've finally got an animated waterfall. It's just so nice, and sort of it's just something else to add to a builder's catalogue of ideas, really, of things that you could do with that. So I kind of moved the rock over to the left because you couldn't really see it with the way the house was built, and anyway, yeah, so I had fun with that as well. So I decided to use these little stone slabs, which you'll have seen me use quite a lot really over several builds. A lot of the time I tend to use them where I size them down and use them around flower beds, but I decided to kind of use them in the water again. They are actually based, or they're supposed to be a decorative item for pools or fountains, I think it is. It's either one or the other, and it comes, I think, with spa day. And they're just really nice little slabs that come in different colours, and you can just place them on the water. So I just place them everywhere, to be honest. I've used them in pools before, flower beds, and here I decided to create, it was just kind of like a cut off section, almost like it was a private pool. It wasn't supposed to be cut off being an actual pool. It was just like a little area, maybe, that was a zone that was designated for swimming, that was safe. If you like. But anyway, I did actually go ahead and extend that right the way around the building at the end as well, but I'm not sure I included that in. So I really wanted this build to kind of blend in with its surroundings, and that's something else which I absolutely love about having these new items from the debug menu, because a lot of the time when I come to build particular homes, depending on what style I want to build, I will pick a will specifically due to its surroundings. I did mention in the last video that I was over the moon that we had weeping willow trees, because the amount of times that I've literally picked Willow Creek just because of the surroundings. So it's kind of like a big deal to be able to access all of those items for me, because it makes it a lot easier for a build to blend into its kind of world, which I think is really, really lovely. So I really wanted this to blend in with all of the scenery around. It's literally, I think this is actually the off the grid huge sandy lot just near the volcano. And it is actually a really beautiful lot, but the frustrating thing is, and you can hear that in my voice, is the fact that when you go to upload a build onto the gallery, there is this massive giant rock that is kind of protruding. It probably takes up about 3/4 of the picture, the gallery picture. Like, what the hell is that about? Like, whoever works in the gallery photos department, we need to have some words because it's not okay. So actually, just for your information, this build I ended up having to move over to the 64 by 64 lot in Selva Dorada just to upload it to the gallery so that you could actually see what the hell I'd built. So if you're having a look in my gallery and you're trying to look at downloading this lot, it is based on a 64 by 64 lot, but if you download it to this 50 by 50 in Sulani, I can promise you it fits like a glove because this is where it was built. But honestly, I don't get the whole thing with the gallery photos. It drives me mad. If it's not a giant rock, it's a lamppost or it's a tree, or I just wish that we had the ability to kind of take our own gallery shots and, you know, upload them to the gallery. I did actually hear a while ago, and it was a really long time ago, that they were going to implement a system which allowed us to be more flexible with the photo that was shown, and I have no idea what happened to that. But they really need to get back onto it, or at least sort out these huge rocks so that we get a nice clear shot of this lot, because the lot is absolutely stunning, but that rock ruins it. As well, for the gallery picture, that is. But yeah, so I'm just going to be moving on to the interior now, and I'll just explain about the interior. So it is a modern build, and I've decided to go ultra modern and very kind of black and white on the interior. Black, white and brown, I would say, on the interior. This house is 3 bedrooms and 1 bathroom, and I built them specifically for adult Sims, really. I kind of imagine this is like a professional working business kind of, you know, professional couple sort of house, or a group of professional friends that have kind of grouped together, and, you know, they just want something that's a little bit quirky and a little bit different. But on that note, it actually brings me to something else. There is not actually a pathway that leads up to this house. In order for your sim to get to this house, they would literally have to jump into the water. So this also could be a perfect home for a mermaid, because it's surrounded by water. It has this beautiful underground coral reef with lots and lots of things going on, and I just think it would be really perfect maybe for a bunch of mermaid friends that are a little bit more kind of older and more mature, maybe. But this interior was really fun to do, actually, because I don't really do modern builds very often, and therefore I don't tend to do kind of an ultra modern interior very often either. And I certainly don't ever tend to use kind of blacks and whites. I'm very much a sort of neutral colour kind of person. If you've been a fan of my channel for a while, a lot of my kind of downstairs communal areas are very neutral. So this was quite nice actually to sort of do quite a contrast between the blacks and the whites. But I do add some warmer tones throughout as well, but there is a lot of greys and browns and blacks and whites and stuff like that. So it was a lot of fun to make this, and it's actually probably one of my favourite interiors of a modern build that I've done to date. I did really like the look of it, and if I'm honest, I'm not a massive fan of modern builds. I kind of feel like suburban homes for me have so much character, and there's such a massive difference between the styles of suburban homes and so many different kind of subcategories of suburban homes, and that for me is where the beauty of a house lies. I love kind of homely kind of homes, you know, that are really beautiful and full of character. But I feel like modern builds are very sort of sterile and they don't really possess as much character. They're very stylish. They're almost like the supermodels of supermodels of houses, because they just look so put together and organized and slender and sleek, you know, in their style. But for me, it's not really my favorite style. So, you know, but saying that, I did have fun doing this interior. It was quite nice to change it up a little bit from the normal style that I'm used to. Now, I absolutely love the way this coral reef looks in these particular rooms underground. They look so beautiful. In actual fact, the layout of this build is really bizarre. So I didn't include the communal areas because you know, they are communal areas, but there is stuff going on in the hallways and stuff like that. But this build is done over 3 floors. So the very top floor is where you go out onto the balcony and you can do, you know, a little bit of gardening. There's some outdoor planters, and there's also a separate balcony on the other side, which I decided to put a little yoga mat down. I thought it'd be really nice, with that being the highest balcony, to have a really beautiful view over Sulani and do some morning yoga. But in the middle floor, which is the first floor, that has the kitchen as well as kind of like an open communal area, which I placed a bookcase and some little bits and bobs to do there. And then there's the first bedroom, so it's kind of strange. But downstairs and underwater is where the majority of the build is. So this is where the other 2 bedrooms are, the bathroom is, and the large living reception area, which I'm currently working on at the moment. So I actually liked the layout of this house because it wasn't normal for me. You know, a lot of the time I build over 2 floors, even 3 floors. I tend to have kind of a very generic layout, whereas this one was a little bit quirky, and if anything reminded me of my house, because in my house we have the kitchen downstairs, and then on the first floor we have the living room and a bedroom and a bathroom. So it's our kind of house personally is a little bit quirky and upside down as well. So what I will say is keep the ideas coming. If there's something that you'd like to see on my channel, I can't promise I can make everything, but I'm certainly compiling a list and going through all these things that you would like to see me build. And I love a good challenge as well, so it's nice to kind of have a look through and see what I haven't done before on my channel and see what I can kind of come up with. But I hope you're all having a fantastic weekend so far. My kids actually broke up from school yesterday, and I am so happy. I can't even tell you, like, the amount of parents that I speak to that are like, oh gosh, it's a 6 weeks holidays, how am I going to cope? It's, for me, I just love it. I love it because I'm home all the time. It's kind of nice now they're a lot older as well to kind of, you know, chill out with them and do some exciting activities and just really spend time together that we wouldn't ordinarily have. I say that, but then probably by next week I'll be like on the countdown Are they going back yet? They could, because they are different ages, so they can clash at times, and the school holidays can get boring, you know, as much as you try and kind of fill it with activities and they get to play out and draw and have all that kind of good fun, you know, they do get bored. It's just one of those things, especially in the UK, because where I am in Manchester, there's just not a lot for kids to do really, so they do tend to get bored. But for now, everybody's happy, and I'm really happy that they're home, so it's all good. So I'm just finishing off this room before moving on to the final twin bedroom, and I actually got told off the other day in the comments. I didn't really get told off, but they were like, why do you call a room a twin room when it's got a child's bed and a toddler bed in it? And all I mean by that is there's two beds in that bedroom. So, but I do understand the idea of a twin room is obviously twin beds. So this is officially a twin bedroom because the beds are identical. So there you go. But this could be used as a spare room or whatever you choose to do. I put obviously the desk in there, I put a little keyboard in there, there's a few activities and skill building items to keep your Sims busy. But I really hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please give me a big thumbs up, and if you're not subscribed, it would be fabulous to have you on board. Also, don't forget to check out my social media links in the description box below. I'm always active over on Twitter, and well, I try to be as active as I can, and I'm also active over on Instagram, so be sure to catch me there as well. But have a fantastic weekend, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.